Now in today's video, we are at quite a special place. Yes, we're in the deep mountains of Colorado in the US to check out Telluride Airport today. Now a few months ago, I have already talked about this airport, but a lot of you guys have asked for a part 2, so that's what I'm doing today. Yeah, this time around, I have a very high quality scenery installed, as you can see down here. Now Telluride Airport is in the Colorado mountains, and it's at a very high elevation at 9,000 feet, which is around 2,000 meters. That is extremely high. And as I've already said in a lot of videos before, extreme height can be an extreme challenge, especially for a plane like the Cessna 172. You really do need quite a runway to properly rotate before the runway ends, because you don't want to overrun, because that is the actual problem here. The overrunning is, you don't want to do that. Yes, here is the very infamous drop-off that this airport has. Yeah, at the 09er end of the runway, we have a very serious cliff. And actually, this airport got very famous in the series called The Grand Tour. I think everyone should know it, kind of. Yeah, as far as I remember, the 3 guys had a race on this runway. They had to accelerate to 50 miles per hour and then brake. And they had some really shitty cars as far as I remember. And actually, one of the cars had an overrun. But this airport has some very great measures against overruns, which we'll talk about later, especially when we start talking about planes that can overrun here. Now, this plane most probably will not overrun. This is the Cessna 172. While it's not the most powerful plane, it should definitely work, I guess. Let's just go ahead and fly this one. I haven't flown the Cessna in a while, so that's kind of cool. It does take a while to get speed though. Jesus Christ. Especially because this runway is slightly sloped. It's not that noticeable, but there is a slope, and we are barely gaining speed, but we are now entering a stable climb, so that's good. What's this? Looks kind of weird. Probably is some kind of reservoir, but it doesn't matter. Now, this takeoff was obviously not a problem at all, but I don't know. Would I operate a Cessna here? I mean, it could get close, but this runway is long enough, and the Cessna can fly at 9,000 feet, definitely. But you do want to make sure to be within the weight and balance limits, definitely. Now, this plane worked, though. Let's try a bigger plane. Now, I don't know how we should move on. I mean, we could try the classic Cirrus Vision Jet. Yes, this has kind of become a classic on my channel. And I'd like to say one important thing about this aircraft. And it's that this aircraft is not very powerful. It doesn't have that much power, so it can get a challenge to get the airplane off ground. But you know, this time around, let's actually try landing the plane, because that can be a nice challenge, right? Alright, the runway is ahead. We're approaching runway 09er. I'm pretty sure that's the normal procedure. Runway 09er seems to be used most here. Now, Telluride is quite a special ski place. The town of Telluride is over here, and you got a lot of ski lifts here, obviously. I mean, we're in the mountains. I mean, right now the place is probably dead, but so is every place. Okay, we are coming in. The runway markings look pretty funky, don't they? What the hell? Something is wrong with the poppy lights as well, but it doesn't matter. We can even do a very smooth or relaxed touchdown here. That is no issue at all. There we go, we have touchdown. Now, this plane doesn't have any reverse thrusters or anything like that, but it does stop kind of quickly, so that's good. And we still have a lot of runway left. This runway is actually not that short. It shouldn't even be an issue with bigger jets, really. I mean, how should we move on? Let's actually go for a private jet. Yes, and when I think of private jet, I think of the Bombardier Challenger 300, definitely. Alright, we're perfectly coming in for the runway. There we go. We can make a very smooth, relaxed touchdown again. That was actually on the late side, but no worries. Let's apply reverse thrusters. I mean, I think you do have jets coming in here in real life, but I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, this airport is not super big, but as you could just see, a medium-sized private jet can also land here without any issues, actually. Here you go, no problem at all. Actually just noticed that. But this takeoff worked without any issues. This was a very relaxed landing. Let's actually go for an airliner now. Yes, let's actually try the Avro jet. Yes, this is the Avro RJ100. This is a typical plane to operate at London City Airport, which has a very short runway. Yeah, the Avro jets could operate at some very interesting places, but it's mostly getting retired now since it has 4 engines. I mean, it's an old jet, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and take off. Full power. There we go. All right. Perfect. Looking totally fine again. And we are off the ground as always. And we have entered a stable climb. All is good. Yeah, this was a pretty nice safe takeoff again. No worries at all. Maybe this airport is not the most dangerous after all. Oh wow, can you hear this in the background? What the hell? Yeah, we have a very special airline here that is run by demons. Yes, all the cabin crew are demons. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that bug needs to be fixed. Wow, that is genuinely creepy. Shut up. This is music to my ears, definitely. Alright, let's just move on. Let's try a 737. You know, maybe Delta can fly to this place as well. Let me just spoil it for you. The 737 can perfectly operate here too, so no worries about that. Alright, that was a touchdown. Let's stop. Alright, that was perfect again. Yeah, the runway is a little bit sloped, and that helps us to stop even more. So this was perfect just again. That was a pretty neat landing and a pretty neat stop. But the thing is, things don't always go as planned. Overruns do happen even if the runways are long enough. Yes, accidents can always happen. But the thing is, at this airport, you don't want an overrun to happen, like, at all. But just for that, this airport has a very interesting safety feature. As you can see, we are coming in. We are a little bit fast, but we're not fast enough to fly. And that is where the EMAS safety bed comes into play. Here we go, here it is, and stop. Okay, that was pretty much unrealistic, but as you can see, we have this little bed here, which is called the EMAS safety bed. And actually, it is a pretty damn genius overrunning prevention system. As you can see, this little bed is made out of these tiles, and these are super soft to break through. It's kind of like creme brulee after all, and if a plane runs into that one, a stop will be very quick. You know, it's used at a lot of runways like these, like this one. You know, you don't want to overrun at that one, definitely not. And that is how it works, and this airport has it too, as you can see just here. Now later on, we will move on to planes that actually won't be able to stop in time or to take off in time, and we'll definitely turn off the anti-overrunning feature just for the sake of fun, definitely. But yeah, let's move on. The 737 worked out, so let's go a lot bigger. Yes, the 777 can also be a very nice option. Now here, I don't quite know. This runway is 2,000 meters long. You know, runways at conventional airports are around 3,000 meters long, so they are a little bit longer than that. But you have to also think about that the elevation of this runway is pretty damn high, and that's what you have to consider. And I like to say this a lot, yes, a plane does need a longer runway the higher the runway is, at least to take off. Let's do a landing this time around. Yeah, the 777 might be the biggest plane that I would say could theoretically operate here if you really tried, but I'm not quite sure. I guess we'll find out in a second. Ouch, didn't see that one. Let's stop. Again, stopping shouldn't be that much of an issue, actually. Or it might. I was actually 100% at the brakes. Probably the brakes of the airplane are broken now, but that is another story. Let's just go ahead and move on to a bigger plane. How about the 747, which I'm not sure about, really. Guess we can try. Alright, let's now try the 747. Will this work out? I guess we're about to find out. Actually, this could be interesting. Again, I turned the EMAS bed off now, so that if we overrun, we will overrun into death. 110 knots. Actually, this is looking good. This might genuinely not be bad. I hope we don't collide with the fence, but that's it. We are off into the air. This was more of a forced takeoff because the runway just ended, and then we were kind of thrown into the air, but we do have quite a stable flight now. Yeah, First Officer Joe approves. Yeah, you get a lot of terrain warnings here, probably. Now that was successful. I don't know how we should move on. So far, all planes that we tried operate here could operate here in theory, at least when it comes to runway length. I mean, this could be a very disappointing video, but we can try the A380. The A380 is quite a plane, even though I doubt that it would make sense to fly an A380 here on a scheduled basis. I mean, you have to find enough people, I guess. So let's see if it can safely operate here at all. Oof, I have had better landings, definitely. Let's see if we stop. Honestly, I'm hoping not to stop, because that would be interesting. Oh, yeah, here's where the EMAS bed would come into play if it was active. And we are dead. So, yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.